We're here at BGG Con 2016. I'm with Lance Meister and Seth Jaffe with TMG Games, Tasty Minstrel Games. Love the name of y'all's company, by the way.
There's
Always
an
get a kick
interesting
out of
story
that.
behind that name.
Well, it's from a famous movie, right?
Well, it's a reference to
Reference
famous movie.
Yes.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Indeed, that's the movie.
Oh, that's the one? Oh.
Yes. So, what's going on with Tasty Minstrel Games? What kind of games you got coming out this fall, this season?
Well, obviously, the ones that we have here, this is like kind of like a weird moment. Like BGG Con is where we get to release
A debut!
A debut, basically. These are all games that if they aren't in retail right now, they will be very, very soon. We have Oracle of Delphi. That's the new Stefan Feld. That is Stefan Feld. It's like a pick up and deliver, which is I love pick up and deliver games. So this is finally this is my favorite Feld after In the Year of the Dragon. So, which I haven't been in love with a lot of his stuff for a while, but I'm really, really excited about this one.
Yeah, I like it too, and it's people are saying it's a lot unlike other Feld games. So if you're not a Feld fan, maybe you like it, and if you are a Feld fan, maybe you like it.
Yeah.
So it's basically for everybody.
It's a win-win all around.
You should probably just play it.
Yes, exactly.
Now, you said it was your favorite since In the Year of the Dragon. He's put out a lot since then.
Well, I mean, it's not that he did make games that weren't great, but I mean, In the Year of the Dragon, in my opinion, is his best design.
Fair enough.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so. But then we have Orleans Invasion, which is the expansion to Orleans, which was obviously the game that should have won Kenner, but didn't, in my opinion. But this has, a friend of mine, Anthony Ricano, said this has something for everybody. Richard Ham, if you're familiar with Router Runs Through.
Yes, of course.
He said that the co-op thing is worth it for the price tag alone. Just that one expansion. It takes the game and makes it, instead of everybody being against each other, you're working to trying to stop, the invasion, which is where it gets its name. So.
Yeah, I think it's really cool to have a cooperative module in a game that's otherwise not cooperative. Is kind of a neat idea for an expansion, I feel like.
Now, I'm actually interested in one that you got over here called Ponzi Scheme. Can you tell me a little about that? It's a favorite of the iGeek group.
No. So, Ponzi Scheme is a game by Jesse Lee.
Jesse Lee.
A fantastic designer. And Ponzi Scheme is a game where each person's running a Ponzi scheme, where you are trying to make the most of money by really not doing anything. You're just always
trying to stay ahead of the curve on the money flow, right?
You're getting money from other people to pay out. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yes.
And the game ends when
somebody goes bankrupt.
And as soon as somebody goes bankrupt, at that point, you see who's got the most money and they win. It is a game with, it's all about the people. It's all about the interactions. It's all about just basically trying to make sure you're not the one left holding the bag. And I've had more than a few people say that is like the best game that they've ever played that nobody's else ever played. Because they had a really, really small print run. I think it was like 500 copies or something like that, or it was just ridiculously small.
Last year here at BGG Con, there were 2 copies here, and they were constantly being played by everyone. And I was actually surprised nobody picked it up a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where like somebody had it, and I said, it's like, what's that? And they're like, this is the best game you've ever played. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then I sat down and I played it, and it was amazing.
I remember the buzz at the end of last year's con. It was, like you said, getting played everywhere. And I think this highlights something that your company is doing a lot of, which is bringing over some of these little-known games, especially from the Asian market, that you guys have specialized in.
And credit to Michael for that. Michael really enjoys the Tokyo game market, and he really enjoys the connection that he has.
He's fallen in love with Tokyo altogether, and he'll go there any chance he gets.
You joined him on a trip this year, didn't you?
I did not.
I went with him this year.
You went.
That was like after I got hired by TMG. That was like 2 weeks later. I was on a plane heading to Japan.
Nice perk.
So, yeah, I'm not going to complain. It was amazing. It was a fantastic trip, and man, it is a place where there are some fantastic game designers that just haven't really been exposed to like the American and European crowd, which thankfully they are. And speaking great dovetail too.
Speaking of other games we picked up from the Tokyo game market, so Ars Alchemia is another game we got coming out, which is a really clever kind of compact, small box, but a full worker placement game where you place workers to get resources and turn them into magic items. But the twist is that you can go to a spot that's been gone to if you have more workers. So you can send a worker here to get some resources, and someone else can send 2 workers there to get more resources, etc. And there's a few more twists to it, but it's very solid, quick playing, compact worker placement game. Which is
can I ask a question about this? Because a lot of these games that are coming from the Asian market, sometimes their art gets changed for the Western market. We've seen that with stuff like Love Letter, the Kanai edition switched over. Do you guys have a preference for keeping the original art or switching over to something that's more familiar to Western audiences?
We usually keep the original art unless we have some kind of reason to change it. Especially if it's like this art is really fancy and nice. We did some graphic redesign on things like Yokohama, like graphic design wise, but we didn't change any of the art there either. I don't know that there's any case that we changed the art.
Well, with Zooscape, which we'll talk about probably here in just a couple seconds, but that was just because that was a total change of the theme of the game. So obviously, there was a difference there.
You brought it up. Tell us about it.
Okay, so this is a game that is this. You're not gonna be able to get a hold of this game. This is yet. It's in 2017. This is from Hisashi Hayashi, the same person who designed Train, same person who designed Yokohama and
Flip City.
Yeah, Flip City. Fantastic designer. This is originally called Curio Collector, so if you're familiar with that, which was about collecting antiques, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so, but this is now instead, it's about zoo animals. Fantastic art. If you want to crack it open, maybe you can get the art out of there.
By the way, you're doing a great Vanna White job there, Seth, I got to say.
Thank you. I've been practicing for years.
So the whole point of it is that like the animals have escaped from the zoos, and so each person, and the mechanism-wise, I'm not going to get too deep, but you're trying to collect. Nice. You're trying to collect the animals, but the trick is that you can't collect too many because you have limited space as far as in your environments within the zoo, and so if you collect too many of a certain animal, instead of getting positive points for it, you're going to end up getting negative points for it. And so it's a game that actually has some fun things where you can actually jam somebody by making sure they get certain cards that are like, they might be sitting on their elephant stack and they're like, yes, this is going to give me a ton of points at the end of the game. And then all of a sudden you hand them another elephant and they're just like, oh, well, now I can't. So and it's a fun game to try to prevent that and try to keep things going. And
yeah, it's got a kind of a Colorado feel that way where you want to collect your sets but not too much.
Yeah. So I mean, it isn't exactly just gun for or something. It's got to keep things rolling in a reserved way, I guess.
It's nice to see old games getting reproduced like this one.
Yes, and At the Gates of Liang was out of print for a long time. We have a wonderful partnership with Hall Games, and so we were able to bring this back in print. So if you've been waiting to get a copy and not spend twice MSRP on Amazon or wherever or on eBay or anything like that, now you'll be. And this is exactly the same game, the exact same art, the exact same boards, everything else. So I mean, if you're worried about the differences, there won't be any. So.
And this was also coming out debuting here at the con.
Yeah, and all these games, like I said, if I think Invasion might be in stores now. I mean, I think, but all the rest of them, if they aren't already in, you're looking at end of November, early December, seeing them in your favorite local retailers or online at wherever you purchase your games. So.
Well, it seems like the owner of the company, or I don't know if he's president, but Michael Mendez. I don't know what his title is.
Owner, founder, Grand High,
well, it seems like
whatever you want to call it.
It seems like he's got a great fan base now who he really listens to. And when he hears about, bring back some games that are loved, he's doing that. When he says, what are these games over here in Asia to bring back? He seems to be really plugged in and connected with his fan base that supports him.
He is a lifelong gamer. I mean, that's one of the things. This isn't, I mean, obviously it's a business venture for him, but he is, and he's tuned into the gamer things. And that's not to go all, corporate talk here, but we've just kind of had a vitalization of the idea that we wanted to be the champion of gamers. We don't want to do things that gamers aren't going to like. We don't like the idea. I mean, and we're not saying what other companies do is bad or the wrong thing. We just have our own thing of what we think gamers expect out of a company and what they want, and that's what we want. So usually. Well, as long as it's financially viable and we're not going to go bankrupt, we're going to be trying to do whatever is the right thing when it comes to the needs and the wants of the gamers. Because I mean, from top to bottom, I don't think there's anybody in our company that really isn't a gamer first and now an employee next.
Not just Michael, but basically everyone at TMG is a lifelong gamer or a heavy gamer or heavily into games. I mean, not like H&XX necessarily, but we all love games. We all love to play. We're all players first, so we like to think about that. Where our fans are coming from and try to make not just make games they like, but also just behave in a way that they'll be happy about. Right?
Well, I know that there was some news that broke just before this convention started about getting the fans more involved in your company. Can you speak about that?
And I'll just say right now, the official word is that I know exactly what you're talking about, and as far as that is concerned, legally we cannot speak about anything to do with the crowdfunding initiative other than I can't say anything about the crowdfunding initiative.
So we should just expect to hear more soon.
Yes. So as soon as information is available, that will be made available.
Very interesting, guys. Very interesting.
All right.
Thanks, guys. That was great.